Good afternoon. I hope all of you are doing good today. I wanted to talk about the times that I did get hoovered by a narcissist. I had a narcissist that had a hidden double life, that lived with a fiance and lied and said he was single. I do believe I was secondary supply, not realizing that I was. This guy was a serial cheater with a bunch of different women. I actually found out about the other women before I found out about the primary that he still does not put on his social media. He tried to marry her within days of my birthday because I tried to tell the truth about him and I tried to get money back that he stole. So within a month or two later, he was majorly cyber stalking my LinkedIn. He blocked me on everything, but he was using some other account to cyber stalk me. A friend's or family or a fake account on LinkedIn. The reason I know is because the city will show on LinkedIn. You can be completely in private mode or the city can show. And the account he was using kept saying Atlanta metropolitan area. And I would say every half an hour, his obsession was that bad. He was on my LinkedIn. I am not exactly sure why he was stalking it so heavily, because it's actually more of a business profile. But I believe because he was afraid of me exposing him. I do believe that he also stalked my Instagram because I posted a guy that I was starting to date, and then I was blocked on everything by the narcissist. He told me to move on. And I think that there were fake accounts or something watching me because after I shared a guy in Philadelphia who also ended up being a narcissist, but I caught it sooner, both made it look like they were single on Instagram. Within 2 hours, my ex went on my LinkedIn and hit follow. I should have heard what he had to say, and I made a mistake because I instantly started saying, I'm not interested, go be with who you cheated on me with. Then he blocked me more on things, so I don't really know what his plans were with the follow, or if he was intimidating me in some way, but that is, I guess, possibly one Hoover that I had. Another Hoover I had, he kept telling me he was going to break up with me if I didn't do sexual things that he wanted. And he kept telling me he's going to dump me if I didn't do poly type stuff when he knew I was into monogamy. And he would make me cry. He would scream on the phone and tell me to shut up all the time. It almost felt like domestic violence through the phone. He'd be like, shut up, and scream at me on the phone. And this person I believe to be a covert malignant narcissist that also had symptoms of borderline and ASPD. And he admitted that he looked up narcissism and that he might be one later on. And the only reason that I brought it up to him was because I loved him and I wanted him to get help. I fell in love with the charming version up front, like everybody says, and thought he was actually a nice guy. So the next time he hoovered me was when he started cheating with a new supply that was a writer that I can't stand because she knew about me and his fiance and still continued to cheat. So the next hoover came a few weeks, he disappeared and he reappeared, and the call said, when I answered, he said, I might give you another chance. So that was the Hoover that he said on the phone. So it was a few weeks after I found out he started cheating, but he actually was cheating the whole time. He lied to me from the start. I'm trying to think of another Hoover. So I was devastated, getting more and more ignored, more cheated on with the new supply. I could see him calling her if she was near me. And it was devastating because we were at the same record label, the same artist development group, and he made me fall in love with him and was cruelly triangulating me with a writer he had pretty much hired to be over me. So he would call her a ton whenever she was with me, and I would see the call coming in. He would be sitting with her on the plane. He would be hanging out with her and stuff. He also was trying to plan so they were in the same hotel room. And then he said, why were you doing that? I was going to sneak to your room later. But when I found out she was a new hidden supply, I literally think he tried to get me to pay for the hotel room for him to cheat on me in. That is how cruel this man is. He didn't care about my feelings at all. He triangulated me cruelly to get a kick out of it. He used her to get a threesome with another woman at a later date. And then the Hoover came about a week later. These musical artists came forward about it in the future to me. And they said when I was at home sewing him a quilt and trying to fix things, he was cheating in Chicago with this slutty writer, and she's a cocaine addict, sleeps with everybody trying to move up in the music industry, and cheated with her and some bar girl. It was November 8th, his birthday. So then by the end of November, I got a text and a call when he was really charming and all of a sudden wanted to buy me gift bags. He wanted to buy me Christian Dior bags, 2 of them. Then a few weeks later, I got a coat in the mail. He would never use his real home address. He would use the address of the artist development group because he had the hidden double life at home. And I found out later, after doing record checks, because of how bad this man hurt me, not because I'm obsessed with him, it was because I was trying to figure out how bad of a person I was dealing with. If anybody wants to know how to do record checks on somebody, if they, you think they're a narcissist and you want help, I actually am starting a Patreon tier 3, and I'm not going to charge a lot, around $1 or $2, because I think people were broke after domestic violence and narcissistic abuse, and I'm not going to charge you a ton of money to be in my Patreon. You figure 12 months, that's around maybe $12 a year or $24 the whole year. And I'll teach you how to do records checks to check out the narcissist and find as much as you can on them to see like if they have civil court stuff, criminal stuff. I can check into that for you because I found a lot of it myself. And I actually have a background in that as well that I can't really disclose, but a big time background in investigating things. So if you want help, let me know. I can research the person that you think is cheating or a narcissist and get their background for you. So you can add me on social media. I'm an R&B singer and songwriter, Jackie Carson. And I'm just trying to get my story out there. I couldn't believe how cruelly I was treated by this monster in the music industry. I wished I never went to his artist development group because he charmed me and got me to think he was a nice man and fall in love. And I got the most cruel triangulation you can imagine. Literally, calls coming in, "Oh, it's him," and she'd walk away and talk to him right in front of me. It's almost like catching someone cheating. I also got very sick at the hotel room, as I mentioned before. One of his flying monkeys and A&Rs for his crooked artist development label that helped write my song, the one that lied and said, when I threw up all through the hotel room, she lied and said I shit, which is very rude and terrible to do to somebody, to lie and degrade them in that way, especially in front of the man that I loved. So that guy, as soon as I got sick though and went to my room, she said he brought a girl into his room, like because he had so much supply in Chicago because this crazy guy always went there. He literally had a woman go to his room with him when I went to my room sick. So you see just how much they use women. These guys that are like the sociopath, malignant narcissists that are sadistic, they are with prostitutes. They are serial cheating on you like you would not believe. They're putting you at so much risk. So you want to get out as soon as possible because a lot of them won't use protection. So, and then he's putting the primary at risk at home, but I call her home base, and I think that she's responsible for the abuse of all the women that he's abusing because we tried to warn her, me and many musical artists, and they blocked me and other people when we were trying to tell her what he is, how many times he's cheating on her. And I'm sure that he went behind the scenes because he was smearing the new supply, saying that she's a liar to everybody because I heard him. They do that. They will smear you behind your back and say you're a liar or a drug addict. They will do stuff like that because this covert malignant narcissist did. They will throw you under the bus to save themselves. Because his fiance owns the home and has the image that he's portraying, when I tried to warn her family, he said he used all the texts and emails from times I reached out during silent treatment when he made me really emotional and made me chase him. He used it at a later date, and he would also use stuff that I told him early on, such as my relationship before him would bring up I had to take pain management pills for a spinal cord injury. So then that got brought up, and she's a drug addict, later. She's a drug addict. She's a crazy lying-ass stalker. I'm going to call the police on you if you don't leave us alone. Called my job, tried to intimidate me that he was going to get me fired, and he did get me reprimanded. So these people don't care what they do to you. If you're interrupting their image or their home, or they're using some girl that she's probably paying tons of bills or something in reality and doesn't realize she's being used and serial cheated on, but they will do anything to harm you. They only care about themselves. So you guys need to be really careful with these covert malignant narcissists. They will cheat on you with everybody. They will lie right to your face to steal money. He was even charging my credit card in Chicago at the W. It had like near $800, and he literally texted me. Somebody was using the card for days there after I left. He actually FaceTimed me from Atlanta and said, look, it's not me, I'm here. It was somebody else that he made up a lie. Remember, he's not even with Sony Records because he lied about it because Sony researched him. He had somebody using the room and said that his brother would rent a whole room block at the Sony rate. And somebody rented this room at the Sony rate to get it cheaper. He lied that much. He didn't have Sony. So somebody was living off of my card in a room for days, charging money and stuff. It came to almost $1,000. He never paid me back. He said he was going to get it from the person at the hotel. He never did. He literally, I believe, robbed his partner. I think he was projecting and telling me, just like I said in the music industry, they suck up to people in the industry and become partners with them. Then they get money for consulting from artists and they pocket it themselves, or they only give their partners a smaller amount and say they only made so much and it was less. So many do this at these artist development groups in the music industry. You've really got to watch. They're malignant narcissists, and they also love empaths, and it's a way for them to hold your dreams over your head and to sexually abuse artists. That is what this guy did. Whenever he got the threesome out of the girl, he promised her make-believe $50,000 publishing money that she never was going to get, held it over her head, and she said, I'm going to get publishing money too doing the threesome, and signed, and he's going to choose me over you and stuff. He never had it. This guy is such a con. Be careful, especially artist development groups, one that I know of in Atlanta. I am trying to give you guys all a heads up. All musical artists that see this. Be careful. My ex is, I can't say his name publicly, but be careful. They're swindlers. They will get you to give them, one group of girls gave him $250,000. Another artist in Chicago gave him $30,000. He can do nothing for you. He has some connections, but all he's doing is living off your money. He is living in a house that's outside of his means. He has a Porsche that's outside of his means. He's cheating with prostitutes because I saw the text. He's serial cheating on the woman that he married. Just be really careful of these artist development groups. They see an empath usually is an artist. We're very loving and artistic and women, and they hold those dreams right over your head. Why do you think that Diddy controlled Cassie like he did and other artists? Because they know that's your dream. You want to be a famous singer and songwriter. So these narcissists get infiltrated into the music industry, and they get either a lot of times younger women that are more naive, and they keep getting you to trust them and taking your money. And you have to really be careful because they'll take a lot of money and they'll ditch you in an instant. They'll take your sex, they'll take your money. And these are narcissists that don't care and they don't love you. This guy, I was convinced he loved me. I have no idea why I convinced myself that. Never would he fly to see me. Never would he pay other than up front, for a restaurant and stuff when I first met him. He'd never have his card on him. He was so cheap. Never had his card. And you know why? I honestly think a lot of these narcissists are in debt because they make bad business decisions because they think they're God's given gift and are given all these opportunities. He got swindled by someone and robbed money. Then he robbed his partner, and his partner, I believe, froze his accounts. So then I was nice, not knowing what happened, loaned him a few $1,000s, around $3, never got paid back. This man also, what's really weird is whenever he wanted nothing to do with me, like I was in devaluation, and I guess he got in a fight with the girl after the threesome. I heard he tried to hit her, and they said they got in some huge fight, and then he made believe that he was giving me the publishing money she was supposed to get to try to punish and hurt her. He said, Jackie, Carson's getting the publishing money. It didn't exist. He would even text from numbers and pretend he was Sony Records. This is how evil this man is. He's actually setting up in North Carolina. I'm not going to name the city. And he sets up in Wisconsin a lot. And he will make people pay for slots. He can do nothing for you. You're paying his mortgage. He wouldn't come visit me when he acted like we were in a relationship. And the only time he was going to, he was trying to get me to set up slots for him, thousands of dollars or whatever artist could afford, so he could rob them in the Pittsburgh area. This man will set up anywhere. Be careful, Milwaukee. Be careful, Raleigh. Be careful, North Carolina. This man says he has Sony Records, and Sony Records called me. And unless a partner of his can verify having it, he does not even have Sony distribution. I hope this gets around. Be very cautious. He has Sony and everything on his Instagram. I even saw his Instagram following counts grow overnight. Thousands under his pictures, like he paid to have them grow. So just be very cautious. I'm going to keep putting out videos. This man from Atlanta in the industry, him and a partner, a couple people in artist development group. Do not join them. Do not give them money. They are cons. They stole thousands from me, thousands from other artists. And I was narcissistically abused. I was made to think this man loved me, and he never would even visit me. He'd never give me the time of day, and just treated me awful. But then he would call when he wanted attention, or he'd call to breadcrumb me, things like that. Be very cautious, please, everybody, of these narcissists. All they care about is themselves. They'll do anything to throw you under the bus to save their home, their image, and they don't care about you. Okay, I'll make another video later. I hope this was helpful.